Hi, everyone. This is Altavis at Combos at the Loan Signing Table. And today I have another episode that's going to be a game changer for notary loan signing agents. Once again, this is Altavis at Emerge Notary Agency. And today's episode, I'll be discussing with my special guest the 5 ways of how a title company can be a game changer for a notary loan signings business in 2024. And in fact, how it can also enhance your business as we enter the new year. So I have my special guest, Ms. Dobbs, who is the Senior Vice President of Business Development of Pro National Agency title,
Pro
but
national title.
Pro National title, but I'm going to let her to give her own introduction. Ms. Dobbs, you have the floor.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to chat with you. So I am the SVP of Business Development. I've been doing this for about almost 8 years now, and I really, really love what I do. I love working with, different people and vendors within the real estate industry, as well as supporting my clients, whether they're brokers, lenders, or real estate attorneys. I oversee our Brooklyn market here in New York City.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yes.
Ms. Dobbs, we're going to get right into these questions. As you know, I just mentioned that we're going to be discussing the 5 ways of how a notary signing agent, doesn't matter if you live on the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest, or in the Southeast. You can apply this to any part of your practices as we enter 2024. So, Ms. Dobbs, are you ready? Let's get into these
I am
questions.
ready.
Okay?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here's my first question. I want to stick to the script. Now, as we approach, we're in this festive season as we wind down the last quarter of 2023, and we're about to enter 2024. What steps are title companies taking to ensure a smooth real estate transaction, and how would that also we can collaborate with a notary loan signing agent to make sure that these real estate transactions as we enter 2024 become a smooth process? Because as you know, we're going through a slight little, delay in signings, especially for a lot of us as interest rates has increased due to inflation. But what are your thoughts about how we need to be more proactive in 2024 with having a more smoother process of real estate transactions? Any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, our biggest challenge right now, especially around the holiday season, is really with UPS and FedEx. As you know, they're very slammed with, whether they're shipping out packages, there's long lines, there's, really big wait times. So we're proactively working with our clients and lenders to set a realistic time frame for when we can expect the executed loan package back from the notary. We're also requesting that the notary scan the entire package back to us before dropping it for overnight delivery so that we can really just, expedite our process while we wait for UPS or FedEx to deliver it.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah, absolutely. And then another challenge during this time is really not having enough time to get the closing docs from the lender to the notary so that the notary has enough time to print and to prep and to drive to the closing. So really to speed this up, we're requesting that the closing package from our lenders is sent over earlier. So it just really ensures that the notary can get to the closing safely and on time.
Those are some good thoughts, Ms. Dobbs, and I definitely agree with
Thank you.
you because there are so many ways now, I think, and it's always a delay. When we're dealing with these carriers nowadays, and it's not really their fault. Most likely, who fault it is? It's Mother Nature. So,
Right.
It could be a lot of nuances to this. It could be traffic. It could be, a plethora of things, though. But I definitely agree with you when it comes to having more of a smooth transaction. It's just having a stronger collaboration and also having effective communications. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think also too, just my thoughts as a notary loan signing agent, especially here on the East Coast and working the 5 boroughs in New York City, I've noticed that, when it comes to delivery, there might be a delay. And what I try to do, and I will also, I'm quite sure a lot of my fellow notary loan signing agents, across the country, especially, in areas such as a really dense area in the like your metropolitan or big city like New York City, is
Right.
also good to get receipts just in case if a package is being delayed. Get a receipt so you can also be able to communicate that to the title agency, also to the lender, or all the parties who are involved in that loan process. Because if we don't have the tracking information, that can really throw us off on how we need to find that package if it is lost en route, and try to communicate that with the other party, whether it might be on the buyer end or the seller end. So I definitely agree with you, Ms. Dobbs, on how we can kind of make a more smoother transaction in 2024. All right,
Awesome.
let's get into
All
question
right.
two. Oh, here we go. In the ever evolving housing market, how is technology, especially innovation, Ms. Dobbs, shaping the partnership between title companies and a notary loan signing agent? For example, what are the benefits of these advancements, and how can we bring that to our clients in 2024? Any thoughts?
Yeah, so I think the biggest one here really is security, right? So we're
Mhm.
always striving to work with notary signing agencies that have a secure web based document delivery and
Mhm.
communication method so that we can ensure a timely and safe delivery for our clients. And that really ultimately is, I would say, the biggest thing is just technology and using the right programs that work for everyone across the board.
I agree. I agree. Now, any particular technology that you think is something that we can use to kind of make it more smooth, or anything that comes across your mind, or you think just anything that's currently on the market, we can integrate that into our services to make that a smoother transaction? Any thoughts on that?
That's not really my wheelhouse.
Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't really know kind of what the new technology that's coming out.
Okay.
We usually have like annual meetings with, tech companies that kind of
Mhm.
let us know what's new to the market and we try to stay up to date with,
Okay.
what
So
works across like the lender platform and everyone. So,
So most likely it'll be like, if we are going to do any type of facilitations for, let's say, something for a pro national title agents, company, as such as, the company that you represent, most likely it'll be something on the back end where we'll be having that integration with the lender and using their platform to pretty much make sure we facilitate those loan signings. Correct, Ms. Dobbs? Is that it
absolutely.
is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are also, I think, too, now there are a lot of different like remote notarizations, and I know a few of them that I'm also going to be utilizing in 2024. I think it'll be just something that's more effective for us, because, like we just
Hmm.
mentioned in our prior question, the travel time has become so horrendous. Especially if I'm
Right.
here on the East Coast, we drive in. Some people may take mass transportation. At the end of the day, our goal is to make sure that we get those documents. At a set time, and if integrating technology such as remote technology, like you said, even with the lender, trying to do things more online can make a more smoother process. I think that'll definitely be a game changer for both the notary loan signing agent and the lender and the
Mhm.
title agency, Ms. Dobbs, right? Because we want to make
Absolutely.
sure that we don't want to have things delayed. And as you know, when you're trying to get those documents closed, there's always something taking place. So I definitely feel like technology is the future. It's been here, but now it's a great way and a great platform for us, especially in our line of business, as we're
Mhm.
moving so much paperwork. And it also cuts down a lot of paperwork too, don't you think? Because now we don't have to worry
Absolutely.
about it. Everything is smooth, everything is online. So I definitely agree with you when it comes to integrating technology, and hopefully we'll have a lot more of that engagement in 2024. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I agree with that as well. Let's go to our question number three. In a competitive landscape, how can the partnership between a title company and a notary loan signing agent offer a competitive advantage to clients in terms of efficiency, cost effectiveness, and overall satisfaction? What's your take on that?
Yeah, so Pro National, we insure in 35 states across the country. So, working with notary signing agencies that have national coverage really allows us to advertise to our clients, whether it's realtors or lenders, that we can conduct business really anywhere across the country. And also that we can send someone physically to meet the borrower, even though our brick and mortar really is here in New York City.
Mhm.
And then also, even though electronic notary signings are becoming more and more common within the marketplace, there's still so many counties and even lenders, that still require the wet signatures.
Mm.
So we've been offering to, work with a notary to help assist where we can't do the electronic signings.
Yeah, I think that you gotta just pretty much have, like, what they call hybrid, hybrid type of
Exactly.
things,
Right.
because yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, like, in New York especially, we really saw, the remote happening during COVID, right? Because that was the only way. And so it was kind of like a hybrid situation where they allowed it, but we're kind of falling back into our old school ways, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy too, Ms. Obbs, when you look at the old school way, it depends on the demographic. Now, here's my take on
Absolutely.
that. When you
Yeah.
have more of a senior client, some people are
Mhm.
comfortable with those 100 plus pages, right?
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, Miss Fleury, I'll take this. I want to see, I want to feel it.
Right.
And you're like, okay. And you just have to be flexible. Then you have now more of the younger demographic, that first time home buyers between the ages between 25, 35. They're involved in technology. Everybody has social media platform. They'll
Yeah.
come to me and be like, Altavis, we love seeing you, but hey, you know, these
We
documents,
can
I'm
do
like,
this faster.
I know, and I'm like, well, I'm just the messenger. And I
Yeah.
would say, well, hopefully in the near future. So you have like two groups of people who prefer, to do documents, via, like we said, remote. But they'll
Right.
still they want to get the deal done because they know at the end of the day, listen, you want
Mhm.
this X, Y, and Z amount of money to be clear. We got to do the paperwork.
Absolutely.
So we'll have a little chuckle, but we'll get through the documentation. But I definitely agree with you. It's great to have a hybrid type of signing service available
Mhm.
because it depends on sometimes the individual. You have a lot of people nowadays, they may not be comfortable with this way of us maybe going more remote when it comes to documentation. So we have to kind of cater to our clients. As you know, we provide that white glove service and make sure that, the documents are smooth. You also, too, as a signing agent, and you can agree on that, we have to make sure that when we bring those documentations there, to make sure we explain things to them. And if they have any questions or concerns, they can get around the phone with the title representative, like, for example, someone at your agency to explain to them
Mhm.
any specific documentation they may have concerns, or even
Right.
contact the lender. So we just got to kind of be ready for anything that happens within that last minute and just facilitate and make sure that, like we
Absolutely.
said, that real estate transaction is smooth. We make sure we get the documents signed, stamped, and sent back to all the parties involved in closing the real estate transaction. Now, we're
Yes.
going to slow this down a little bit. I want to get into some trivia questions. You ready, Ms. Dobbs? I got some questions for you
I hope
today.
I'm ready.
Well, it's the holiday season. We're just going to just go through it and just have a good time, right? Here's
Okay.
one for you. Who is in charge of securing the closing documents when it comes to securing the interest rates for the signer? It could be the buyer or the seller. Is it A, the lender, B, the actual signer? Do they negotiate their own interest rates? Or C, the title agent? Interest rates. Who's in charge of that?
The lender.
Okay. Ding, ding,
That was
ding. You
it.
got that
Was
right.
that was A, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're like, my girl, don't say that.
Hmm.
You're like, hmm. I know people are like, what are they talking about? But you know what?
Yeah,
Because
I
when
love it.
I think sometimes people think it depends on the situation too, but definitely the
Right.
lender. They are the ones that
Absolutely.
we have to. I think when it comes to signers, and working at the title agency, that's where the negotiation comes at when an
Mhm.
individual such as a first time home buyer or maybe a person's doing a refi or even a real estate investor, they need to have those conversations with the lender to make sure that interest rate is something that they're comfortable with. And as you know, in
Absolutely.
2023, nobody's comfortable with these new interest rates. However,
Like no one.
like no one. However,
Yeah.
business goes on and business
Mhm.
continues. It may not be as fast paced as it was a couple years ago,
Mhm.
but it still moves on. And hopefully, we can see a promising 2024 onwards and see how these interest rates work out. But at the end of the day, that is the question, and that was the answer, and you got that correct. Thank
All
you.
right. We're on a
Yeah,
roll.
we're on a roll. My next trivia question for you. Let's get into it. Now, who is responsible for making sure that there are no liens on the signing on the actual property? A, is it the the real estate agent? Is it B, the title agent, or is it C, the notary loan signing agent? Who is responsible for making sure that there are no liens on the property when the individual is purchasing a home?
Yeah, so that will be B, the title company.
Okay. Why is that?
Yeah, so, we're here to ensure the buyer to make sure that the property that they're purchasing from the seller is free and clear of
Mhm.
any defects. So, any liens, forged documents, a whole plethora of things, right? And
Yes.
if there is something, we're not able to close and insure them with a policy. So it really is up to us to find out, from the past 40 plus years, what has been going on in the transfer of title with that specific property.
You are correct. And you know what you win today, Ms. Dobbs? Let me tell you what you win today. You win a cup.
Ooh, I can't
Woo!
wait to get it in the
I know.
mail.
When I see you, you got a cup coming to you. You get a
I
cup.
love
You
it.
get a cup. So
I
thank
love
you.
it.
I
Thank
appreciate that.
you.
I just wanted to kind of, kind of mellow it out because I like asking these questions in the middle of these convos with my guests, such as yourself, because it's good to kind of enlighten individuals when they want to know. These questions
Yeah,
do come up, and sometimes, individuals don't know that. So thanks for, going through that trivia, rapid fire questions for me with me.
absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
let's move on to question number 4.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, yeah. Could you share any insights or trends to watch out for in the real estate market in 2023 as we leave 2023 and we enter 2024? How can a notary loan signing agent and title companies proactively address these changes for the benefits of our clients? Any thoughts on that, Ms. Dobbs?
Yeah. So, as far as like trends and things to watch out for, I think it really is just important to not even just like looking at what's going on in the news, right? It's to
Mhm.
really hone in on your team of professionals within the industry that can really let you know what is going on. Have a handful of lenders that you talk to regular if you're thinking about
Mhm.
purchasing a property, and see what they're saying, right? Because they're the finance guys, and they're the ones that are looking at how the market is going up and down. So I always say, it's so important to really have your team, whether you're ready to purchase now, whether you're going to refinance, whatever it is,
Mhm.
so that you can really rely on them, because there's so much news and so much media out there, and it's overwhelming and it's not always true, right? So I guess that would be kind of like my insider insight. And then as far as notary loan signing agents, they can really assist title companies by helping our loan officers take a loan application
Mhm.
when the loan officer isn't able to physically take one face to face. I think that's super helpful.
Mhm.
Also, having a notary in the area of the subject property allows the lender to expand their region into areas that they wouldn't normally venture into. And
Absolutely.
then once that loan goes to closing, the notary that assisted with the loan application, of course, will be given priority to do the closing, since they're already familiar with the borrower and the location, and what have you. This is actually something that we kind of started doing as a pilot service
Mm.
recently this year, and our lender clients are very, very thrilled with it. So
That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear.
yeah.
Um, I definitely agree with you. Definitely having a circle, I like to say,
Hmm.
of individuals, whether it might come from a real estate agent, maybe it comes from a lender, it might even comes from anyone behind the scenes doing commercial real estate, private investors, um, anyone within the industry who's constantly keeping on the wave of what's the current, insights are the current trends, and also too trying to filter between what's overly exaggerated, Ms. Dobbs, you agree,
Hmm.
and what's
Right.
currently happening. Because right now, a lot of people like to drive off like the real estate is crashing, real estate is crashing.
Right.
We're at different times versus what took place in '07, '08, when everything where the banks were just pretty much bailing out Wall Street. Now we're just dealing with individuals. And I feel like you got to just pay attention to what information is out there. And as a notary loan signing agent, we're part of that group of individuals, whether it might be the title agency, it may be the lender. We all play a key role in that because, as you know, if business is not moving, then no one is really, closing any deals, whether it might be on the buyer end or the seller end. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I definitely feel like just staying abreast, and even as a notary loan signing agent, talking
Mhm.
to senior vice presidents of the business development like yourself, just to see what's currently happening and see how are you guys looking to help us facilitate, potential signings for you in 2024. I think that's a great factor, and just staying in the loop and staying connected with people within the industry so we can all pretty much get ahead and pretty much keep business going as much as we can. Which leads me to question number 5. You ready?
Yes,
Question
I'm
number
ready.
Now, as we reflect on the past year and look forward to a new one, what is your vision for the future of real estate transactions and also as a role of a notary loan signing agent and title companies in general? We already talked about the making these transactions smoother. But what about paying attention to the customer centric experiences? How important is the customer centric experiences in 2024 that we really need to pay attention and engage? Should we do more surveys? Should we just pay attention to what their needs are? What are your thoughts on that, Ms. Dobbs?
Yeah. So always and forever, my goal really is to continue to provide the best ultimate customer service because as a title insurance company, our rates are pretty much the same across the board. We really do rely on retaining our customers through our service, right?
Hmm.
Whether it's, streamlining things, making sure that everyone's on, an email initially to really like iron out anything that we need and that communication is very seamless and smooth.
Hmm.
Making sure, that we have a checks and balances. Really, I always check in with my team just to make sure, following up like, hey, how's this deal moving along? And making sure that we're relying that to our clients and being proactive,
Hmm.
before they reach out to us and are like, what's going on? Right. We never want that to happen.
Right. Hmm.
And honestly, I really think it's imperative to give ample time for everyone. We kind of spoke about this earlier, for the notaries and all of our other real estate partners to review the documents, to ask the questions,
Hmm.
to kind of iron out anything before it's too late. And just to kind of keep that, line of communication open for everyone to really ensure that it's a smooth closing every time.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think customer service, as that old phrase, an old statement, is
Yeah.
king. It's key. It's king. It's key. It's all of the above. And definitely as a notary signing agent, and I know I can attest to other agents, notary signing agents, nationwide. Customer is the person that we need to pay attention to by offering them these type of white glove services of facilitating these loan documents, whether it might be in a hybrid form where you might be doing something where it includes having a volume of documentation, or doing something more with the technology advancement of remote closings and loan signing closings on a remote type of platform. So
Right.
I think that will be the goal for everybody in this whole realm of
Hmm.
dealing with the real estate mortgage industry, how we can definitely pay attention to detail, and especially pay attention to customer. And
Hmm.
also too, Ms. Dobbs, what are your thoughts how we can improve the borrower or the signer just being more proactive when it comes to surveys? Do you notice that there's a decline, or how can we increase engagement of how and having them to really provide their thoughts on surveys? Because I noticed that when I'm with them, sometimes they
Hmm.
be trying to get through the documentation and they don't want to do the surveys. And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll
Yeah.
just, just in case, it's great to get feedback. Any thoughts on that about how can we can kind of enhance the surveys to kind of get feedback? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is forever the challenge, right? Is like the best kind of, compliment or whatever is a review or,
Yeah.
having, just some type of feedback on the performance. And I think, you know, it's always nice if you can incentivize them, I guess, whether it's give them a cute little shot ski or like, like, hey, like, would love to help, add this added value to your business for the next time you do
Right.
something, right? I think
Mhm.
that always kind of helps, people like free things. So
Yeah, we love free things, even though we don't,
yeah, yeah.
you
And
know, because
yeah, and ultimately I think and not to guilt trip them, right?
yeah,
But to be
yeah.
like, hey, look,
Hey.
I'm here, you guys have been so happy.
Mhm.
The best compliment that you can give to me is please fill this, easy, simple, 3 questions. I always say don't let it be any more than 3 questions, or
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, no, no.
it's not
Right? It's
gonna
like
happen.
it's too hard.
It's
Um,
yeah, the human brain can't wrap its just like,
they
how
can't
many
do it.
questions? They can't do it though.
Exactly.
But especially, because we get that documentation, Ms. Dawson, it'll have like the survey at towards the end of the closing documents, right? And
Right.
I'm like, hey guys, there's 6 questions. Do you want it's either like
Yeah,
they
no.
hesitate or they'll be like, we'll do it on another time. And they don't really.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
once it's done, but I try to be as pleasant as possible and present it to them. And I'm like, they would love your feedback. And you kind of just have to play up to their personality, but you don't want to be too overly aggressive. A little bit of assertiveness, but
Yeah.
not overly aggressive. So
Right.
I definitely agree. Maybe I should start giving out some pins and some
Yeah,
cups
like
or something like that,
maybe they
right?
could get one of those awesome fabulous cups that you
I
have in
know.
your
And I could
office.
and it's kind of be so cute. I just had my juice just spill over my stuff. No, we're
Oh,
good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Well, Ms. Dobbs, before we leave today, where can if a notary loan signing agent want to reach out to you and Pro National Title Agency? What is the best way they can reach out to you? What platforms you are as far as social media? Please share with us.
yeah. So I'm pretty much on all platforms, but I will say that my favorite one for any like business inquiries would definitely be LinkedIn.
Okay.
I'd say I frequently check my messages there. And it has all my contact information, has my bio.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's a good place for us to interact. But I'm also on Instagram. I use Facebook. I have a business page on Facebook. But also just email, you
Email.
can
It's email. Okay.
it's yeah.
That's the most effective way, right? Well, I want
Yeah,
to thank you
absolutely.
so much for sharing, your insights for 2024. I look forward to hopefully, we're doing some business hopefully in 2024 together.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you were able to, also give out, your agency's information just in case of a notary loan sign agent, whether they might be somewhere, like I said, up north on in the southern regions or on the west coast can reach out
Mhm.
to you and your team to see how they can actually be do a collaboration and facilitate any particular signings in the new year. Ms. Dobbs, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.
You too.
I will
Bye
talk
for
to you.
now. Bye for now.
Bye.